we complicating something that is so easy? Marriage and love. Mo has said before, sometimes he doesn't see the value in marriage.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, it just kind of stopped making, I guess, as much sense to me and why you would actually get married. And so I've come to the table before and said, as a man, I really don't see the value in it anymore. And then the ladies who are married on the show say, well, we don't see the value in it for us either. And then I've been confused as to what the value of marriage really is ever since.
All right, well, y'all sit around and listen to one woman on TikTok. Think she's from your neck of the woods up in New York.
Okay.
Telling you exactly how it is when it comes to love and marriage, and we're complicating things.
Okay, so once again, the internet is interneting, and it's pissing me off. I am so sick of men and women alike with this bull of what do you bring to the table? What makes you so great? What are the benefits of getting married in today's society? It's love! That's it! That's all. Like, y'all are so steady trying to transactionalize the interaction between men and women because you grew up in a capitalistic hellscape and it's degraded your mental. Wake the up. You get married because of love. Like, take the win. This isn't the 1600s. She doesn't need to come with 40 acres and a mule. You doesn't have to slave his life away to buy you a Birkin bag. If you're getting married for somebody to save you, don't do that. It is for love. That is it. That is all. Men and women do not need each other for anything other than procreation and companionship. Pick the person you love that you can't imagine spending the rest of your life without and build a life that makes you happy. And stop acting like they're replaceable. Y'all are so deluded. One little bit of hardship and you go human shopping on the internet like everybody out there isn't smoke and mirrors to begin with. Your man is not always going to be up. Your woman is not always going to be your peace. If life is hard, spending the rest of yours with somebody is going to be too. It is work. Cut the She needs to shut the up and suck and cook and clean, and he needs to pay all my bills and save me and dabba. It is for love!
I don't disagree with her.
She sounds lovely.
Right.
I think
Right.
that's the sound of a woman who's fed up.
Or recently broken up with, or vice versa. I don't know if I disagree with it.
I mean, it makes sense. But love is fleeting. That would be my only response to that. Love is not guaranteed to be there for.
True love is
I've seen
forever.
it. It's for as long as you'd like it to be, but it's not guaranteed. The love is not guaranteed to be there forever.
Right.
So why would I get married because of love?
I think that's why people get married, because then it adds in the commitment. So if love is fleeting or if the feelings are fleeting, you're making that lifelong commitment to say that even though I might not love or like you all the time, I'm going to stick by you no matter what.
So even when the love is gone and the fun is gone in this relationship, I am letting you know that under no circumstances am I leaving and going to find love and happiness. That's what we're saying.
What's the difference between then you just being in a relationship for your entire life and just not getting married?
Well, then you got to think about finances. You got to think about the paperwork. You got to think about the government getting involved in your relationship. Like, you've committed to this. So now once you both decide, even if you both come to an agreement of like, you know what, this isn't it, let's move on. You can't just do that anymore because of what marriage now has brought to the table.
But you're looking at it for from a standpoint that for sure this isn't going to work, right? But how about the ones that do?
It's a less percentage of those that work than those that don't. And as time goes on, it becomes a wider and wider margin.
But isn't that percentage shifting?
Not by a lot.
No, not enough. Not enough.
Not enough for both.
Not enough for me to feel safe in doing
Why
it.
are you going to let other people's, and I don't want to call it failures because sometimes I don't think a divorce should be looked upon as a failure, but why would you let other people's circumstances color your own?
I try not to, but you can look at that both ways, right? Because if someone is completely happy with not being married, like I just don't need that. Like, I don't need the marriage to feel the love. I don't need the love to feel the marriage. The love is just fine on its own without the married part. Technically, society will tell me something is wrong with that because you should get married. Most people, at least in my understanding, a lot of the times the people that got married didn't necessarily even know why they individually wanted to get married. It was more like, society tells you to get married, so let's get married, and everybody's going to think that I've accomplished something by being married. That's the part that I wouldn't go into it just because society says it. To me, there has to be more than just love there for me to get married.
Now, let's get down to the second layer of something that you just said here that has always sort of annoyed me. As a guy that's gone through it, you said that you don't necessarily think divorce is failure. As a guy that was married and got divorced, my marriage was a failure.
For you, but other people don't view it as a failure.
They don't view mine as a failure?
No, their own. No, that's how you look at I'm saying like some people don't view it as like a failure.
What do they view it as?
I don't know, but they don't look at it as a failure.
I would see it as a failure if I got a divorce.
I would see it as a failure too if I got divorced, but I didn't want to put that out there as a blanket statement because I know there are some people out there that it's better. Like they weren't meant to be. It wasn't a failure. The marriage was just destined not to work, so it's not a failure. They went their separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, me and my ex-wife are getting along great now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We're going to be great friends here. But at the end of the day, I think that we're just nervous to say that we failed at something. And for me, that's not a bad word, failure, because you'll learn a lot from it. But my marriage failed, and I got divorced.
And I don't think failure is a bad word either. I think you learn more from your failures and from your mistakes. But I know that blanket statement, not everybody out there views their divorce as a failure.
The Bert Show.